Today we take a look at the fascinating life of an iconic architect who designed some of the most famous buildings in Sydney. So today we're talking about Francis Greenway, a famous architect who also appears on the old paper $10 notes. Francis was born on the 20th of November in 1777 in Bristol in England, and died in September of 1837 at age 59. So in 1812, Francis was convicted of forgery and shipped over to Australia. It was here that he really began to hit his stride as an architect, and he even designed the Macquarie Lighthouse. This put him, understandably, in good stead with Governor Lachlan Macquarie, but it was only a few short years later that they had a falling out regarding the amount that Francis Greenway was being paid. It's widely accepted that Francis Greenway was very influential in shaping the style and theme of early colonial New South Wales, and a number of the buildings that he worked on are still there today. My personal favourite, which I've actually been to visit, is the Hyde Park Barracks, which was once upon a time the Sydney Mint. So there was a lot of use of local bricks and sandstone in the production of his buildings. And if you've ever been to Sydney, you'll notice that a lot of those buildings still exist and have a very distinct style to them. Sydney, and it pains me to say, being a resident of Melbourne, and this is my home, but I must confess that when I do go to Sydney, I find myself looking upward a lot more and admiring a lot of the architecture. So Francis Greenway is a main cause of that. In 1932, he was posthumously pardoned of his forgery conviction by the government of Australia. This was due to his contributions to the country. A few years prior to his passing, Francis Greenway was actually advertising in a local Sydney newspaper, trying to drum up a bit of work for himself. So he completely ran out of money, and unfortunately by the time of his passing, he had not really anything at all. So it's a disappointing end to his life, but a fascinating life nonetheless, and that is a brief overview of another iconic figure in Australian history. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll keep it brief. I'll try and keep these videos quite brief. I don't want to bore you with a whole pile of information, but hopefully it serves to just give you a little more information on some of these characters that you'll see on your collecting journey with the old Australian banknotes. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.